Oh, there's a river that winds on forever. I'm gonna see where it leads. Oh, there's a mountain that no man has mounted. I'm gonna stand on a peak. Out there's a land that time don't command. Wanna be the first to arrive. No time for pondering why. I'm wondering on why we both still alive. To the ends of the earth, would you follow me? There's a world that was meant for us to see. To the ends of the earth, would you follow me? If you won't, I'ma say my goodbyes to you. Oh, there's an island where all things are silent. I'm gonna whistle a tune. Oh, there's a desert that size can't be measured. I'm gonna count all the dunes. Out there's a world that calls for me, girl, heading out into the unknown. With fear and strangers and all kinds of danger. Please don't say I'm going alone. To the ends of the earth, would you follow me? There's a world that was meant for us to see. To the ends of the earth, would you follow me? If you won't, I will say my goodbyes to me. Die for you, baby. Doesn't mean I'm ready to stay. What good is living the life you've been given if all you do is standing in place? I'm on a river that winds on forever. Follow till I get where I'm going. Maybe I'm heading to die, but I'm still gonna try. I guess I'm going alone. Would it be a sin? Oh, if I can't help falling in love with you, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad 'cause I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days, I'll look and see your face. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be. And everywhere I am there you'll be.
I would like to reach out my hand, say you, tell you to run. Nobody say, nobody well, pick me up with golden hand. Say you, tell you to run. Nobody say, nobody I would like to hold my little hand. How we will run, we will. How we will crawl, we will. I would like to hold my little hand. How we will run, we will. How we will crawl. Send me on my way. 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 I would like to reach out my
Hi guys, how you doing? Wow. All right, I gotta be honest. It's truly a beautiful sight from where I'm standing right now. And I come from a very small family, so to see everyone gathered here for the celebration of these two lovers, it's absolutely beautiful, I must say. And with that being said, I mean, like, your families are very beautiful. Your babies are gonna be really hot. I just gotta say. Moving on. All right, my name is Jonathan, and I met Ian my junior year of college. I graduated, believe it or not. You can say what you need to say about that. I remember this so clear. It's kind of hard not to. Ian's has this presence to him, and still to this day, I don't really know how to explain it. But nevertheless, at a rehearsal of Angels in America, directed by Kathy Curtis, his mother, this kid just walks in. He just walks in with this aura about him. I didn't know how to feel about it, but it was like nobody has seen him before. He just made an appearance at this rehearsal process, and it's like mid-semester, so he was definitely a new face. And he just walks in, takes a seat, and crosses his arms like a boss. You know what I mean? He just sits down, and I remember I was trying to mention it to Kathy, but she seemed like she had really no care for this beefy blonde dude sitting down in the chair, which didn't really surprise me. It didn't really surprise me at the time. She's always got these big problems to deal with. She's always got something on her plate to deal with. So it was like, I felt like I had to handle it myself, but I honestly couldn't. The dude's chest muscles were bulging out of his body. I was intimidated, to be honest. I was very intimidated. Then the sucker had the nerve. He had the nerve to give notes about the production. I mean, he starts chiming in, and I'm like livid at this point, confused and clueless as to why no one is saying anything about him. And I even thought to some point I might have been hallucinating him. I mean, look at the guy. Like, he's beautiful, right? So I finally decided to ask Kathy, like, who the heck is that? And before she even answered, it almost seemed as though both of them looked at me, and I knew at that very moment that was her son. And my jaw dropped. At this point, my college career was over. I thought I had made it in college. I thought I was Kathy's son until the real deal showed up. And I didn't think there could be any more Kathys out there. Skip 3 years later, here at the wedding, there's like 300 of her lying around. They all look alike, and they're beautiful. Ian Curtis, as I ignorantly called him back then, he got like 6 names to choose from. I can't keep up. But Ian, me and our dear friend Reed, who is also in the play. Reed, say hi, Reed. That's Reed. We were mostly infatuated at the sole fact that he was a male version of Kathy Curtis, her offspring at that. And he turned out to be way cooler than expected. After each rehearsal, Ian would come back to our dorm, chill till like 1 a.m., and even had the audacity to tell us he was driving back to Queens. Me and Reed were like, dude, it's college, crash at the place, man, who cares about hygiene, that stuff. You know, and he actually did plenty of times. He stayed. We bonded almost like every night, the 3 of us. He definitely brought a lot of fruit. That's right. We mostly talked about our lives at the moment and what led up till then, meditation practices. He taught us about Mormonism and how crossing your arms keeps the energy circled in your chest. I remember you telling me something about that. It totally explains the muscle trick. And at this point, he wasn't scary anymore to me. And we talked about past jobs, what we learned from them, love and love lost. Occasionally, we played video games. Okay, we mostly played video games. But we definitely talked first and then got super mellow and real deep to the point where we were all unsure what to say next. And, you know, we decided we should probably ease the weight of these topics by playing some games. It was beautiful. The 3 Musketeers had nothing on us. And then, dun-da-da, Joy comes into the picture. Shortly after, Joy got a job as the area director right out of college at our school, Five Towns College. Yet another boss, and obviously Ian fell head over heels for her. Before he even got to say hello. So Reed and I, you know, we helped him out a bit. Me and Reed shamelessly talking nonsense to each other in the office, while Ian and Joy stared at each other's eyes and laughed about us. But we all knew they just laughed because they were in love. It was very cute, and they were hooked. It was so nice to see. And everything was panning out. Ian and Joy had their first dance together, and it was horrendous. Mind you, they danced like 2 chickens walking into each other, trying to get around each other. But obviously that did not matter. That did not matter. I even got to meet the love of my life shortly after. And she's right over there. That's Jenna. Man, I lost my spot, but that's okay. Whew. So me and Reed and Ian, we all decided to move in together and get a place. And that's what we did. And during this time, I learned more about myself from these 2 than any other time in my life. Like, their love is like so, it was so pure. She was always coming over. You could feel the love like spewing out of them. They're both just such brilliant individuals, and together they're like the epitome of motivation. It's unbelievable. Learning the struggles Joy has put up with her life that made me feel like anything was possible. Ian was always teaching me how to keep negativity out of my life. Even to this day, I think back to how I can channel all this energy around me, good and bad, and use it to push forward. I really owe it all to them. These 2 have done so much separately, but even more so together. And anytime I'm around them, it's just pure happiness, you know? That's really all I really learned from them, to be honest. They taught me what it meant to be happy, given any situation. The stress will come, the bad times will come, struggles will come, anger will always be there sometimes, but so will happiness. And ultimately, what I've learned from them is up to you to decide which you prefer seeing. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing a whole lot of happiness tonight. And I don't know, from each corner to this building, of this room, I had wrote this thinking we were going to be in a building, we're outside. Each end of this backyard, I'm seeing rays of light coming out of each and every one of you, and that is no coincidence. You are all special, and just look what you did here today. You all play a very specific part in this relationship, and I'm honored to be here with you to share that. I love you guys so much. Keep doing what you're doing, and you give me so much hope, guys. I really appreciate everything you've given me and the time we've spent together. I love you guys. And now I'd like to introduce the bride's mother, Natalia.
All right, shut up, everybody. I'm going to make it nice, short, and sweet. Sorry, it was way too long. Okay. I love you guys. The second I heard about you, I knew in my heart, you're my son-in-law. Cannot ask for a better son-in-law, and nobody can ask for a better daughter than you. Take care of her. I love you both. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Don't look at me like that. I'm not going to cry. And we're here for you. We love you. Kathy. Kathy. Where's Kathy? Come over here. I love our family. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I love you guys. Thank you so, so much. Have fun, drink, eat, party.
Your turn. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know what to say because I've already sung and I've already danced. I don't know how. I didn't do well at either one of them. So maybe I've been cool while I'm ahead. I just want to say to Ian that, okay, wow. There's this amazing quality that these two have, and that my son has. And I just want to say, I mean, my son's a part of a very big family, and they have a really strong spirit. And I was saying last night we were at another gathering. He's always really kind of like, he's always been frustrated with me because he wants to be a cinematographer. Well, he is a cinematographer. He's very good, won tons of awards, just in case you didn't know that. Well, kind of swept things with this, the other people who swept things in terms of the Academy Awards we had this year are also in this room. Thanks, guys, for coming here. But besides that artistic talent that I think he really got from my father and from my family line, he has such an eye to see beauty, see and appreciate beauty. There's something about the way he looks at the world that is really inspiring to me and makes me see the world in a new way. And John, you said it all, so I'm not going to say very much. John, it was a beautiful speech, and you really said it all. That I think that Ian, and I suppose the reason why I'm constantly taking him, though he wants to take pictures, and throwing him in front of the camera, is because I want other people to see what I see in him. And there's a hope and a deep spirituality and a faith and a love of God and an honor for his beliefs that shines in him. And I want, sometimes when I throw him in front of the camera, I just go, you should see this. And everybody thinks, you got a crush on your kid, you like him way too much and all this stuff. And I'm saying, I really, really, really honor this young man, and I'm really so grateful for how much support he's been to me in some really, really difficult times. He's been super supportive, and I just wanted to say I really, really love you. Now just on to Joy. Wow. Okay, this loving little girl comes flying into my office, and she runs into me in the hallway when we both knew that they were dating, and they were not supposed to be because she's an administrator at a college, and he's a student. So, Okay, way to go, Ian. Okay, so they're not supposed to be dating and all that stuff. And so there's all of this sort of like, I'm passing you in the halls and I'm not looking at you at all. And I see you over there, but I'm not talking to you. And so Joy and I run into each other for the first time that we all knew that this was going to be so serious. And she runs into me. She comes through a glass door and she runs into me and she goes, oh, hi. And we just stand there in the hallway, and passing us is another university administrator, and we're all like pretending like nothing's going on. Nothing at all. And we kept that little charade up for quite a while. Until she would sneak into my office and drop down in front of me, and you can't see anything because they've got all these things on the windows. And she would drop down where she couldn't be seen, and we would just have these soulful talks. And this depth that I think is just, I mean, is more than worthy of my son and his life, because you're soulmates. And you deserve each other because of the depth that you both have. And that's what I got to say. I'm trying to make it short and sweet, but that's it. If there's so much there, and I love you both, and I honor you both, and that's it. Great.
Hello, my name's Ross. I guess you guys know me. I'm Joy's brother. And honestly, if I were to elaborate about these two, we would be here all night. So I'll say a few brief words, and in particular, I'll give a brief historical account of my knowledge of my sister. And in a way, this maybe could help you, Ian, to know what you're getting yourself into. But in a good way, in a good way. Her outward beauty is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't really need to elaborate on that. First thing I'll say is that she's one of the most inquisitive people I've ever met. This girl really has a passion for learning. I remember when we were kids, one of the things we used to do was collect caterpillars and, and grasshoppers, and we would train them to be part of the circus. We were really interested to see if we could actually do this. Another time, we managed to turn my mother's brand new bedroom set into a spaceship. We destroyed it in the process, to her dismay, but it was in the name of science, so it was worth it. And she's remained inquisitive. And it's turned into a very robust, I'd say, intelligence. Maybe some of you don't know, she's recently graduated with a master's in industrial organizational psychology. She's only 24. And in particular, she has, if you've ever talked to this girl, if you're close with her especially, she has a really unique way of understanding people. It's a kind of acute emotional intelligence. And it's a really special part of her. And I'm sure you understand at this point. And she puts her talents to good use. She's one of the most caring people I know as well. From the time when my mother was single, she would stay with her, helping the single mom clean up the shop late at night, to today where she works as a director of Res Life, catering to her students' needs. She's one of the most caring people I know. She's multi-talented. I guess many of you don't know that she's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu and that she could fully operate an aircraft. Yeah. And if you haven't checked out her artwork, you should do so immediately because it's truly remarkable. She has no training, and so it's like a natural gift. You should check it out. And lastly, I'll say that she could be unpredictable at times. There are too many things I could say about that. One time, she managed to throw a secret party during grade school. Maybe some of you guys were there back in high school. But she managed to do this without me or my mother finding out. And the most surprising part of this story is that I was asleep at the time in my room at the house where the party was being held. So quite unpredictable she can be. So Ian, what I'll tell you is that you should expect surprises, but mostly good ones. And honestly, I could not ask for a better brother-in-law. And just over there, your wedding speech was so touching to me. I teared up. I usually don't. But all I could think was that I honestly couldn't be genuinely more happy about the fact that someone loves my sister this much. You're really doing me a favor on that. So with that, I wish you guys the best of luck as you pursue your passions together.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my
All
bed.
right, by the request of the bride and groom, they asked if anybody else wants to make a quick speech or say a few words. So come on up and do so. Anybody out there, if anybody wants to do so, come on up. All right. Let's give it up for Reed.
I'll keep it quick. And this is actually a serious thing because the real thing I'm going to say might be kind of silly. But yeah, like when I was a freshman, I had a lot of trouble keeping roommates because I'm a passionate guy, but I can kind of be a dick sometimes. And me and John really bonded. You know, like he was the first person I ran into where I was like, John was the guy who was up here giving the speech beforehand. Not as drunk as me. And we really clicked. And I'm like, cool, I finally have a roommate I like can dig and love. And then like around our second semester, we clashed heads a lot. And we clash heads a lot nowadays. And that just happens when you're like living with someone so often. Because I lived with a man for 3 years. But there was no one that came into our life that made us focus on these things and like, work through them as opposed to just getting past them than Ian. Ian literally floated into our lives and told us like about what it means to be brothers and like consider each other, you know what I mean? Because I mean, like, we're passionate guys, we stand up for ourselves, and like we have a lot of points to make, but like he taught us about like those middle grounds, you know, between making your points and also listening to each other and just love, you know, learning about love. And that's the prologue. And now the only reason I'm up here is because I don't get to milk this often, so I'm only gonna milk it once and I won't say it for the rest of the night. This is almost my responsibility. Because like Ian was digging joy, and I was like, "Hey, I know the student life people, so let's all hang out." And then we hanged out, and then they like fell in love. So is it my fault? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. That's all I have to say. I love you guys.
So show me family.
Hi, I don't know many of you, and many of you don't know me. I'm Ian's father. And I'd just like to take a quick minute to tell both Ian and Joy just how proud I am. When Ian left my home 7 years ago, when he turned 18 and moved to New York, I didn't know what his life would turn out and how it would turn. And I have to say that Ian having found Joy, Joy having found Ian, I'm very proud of both of you. And I'm very excited to see what your future will bring. I think it will bring great things. We love you.
All right, anybody else? You don't have to come up. Don't feel obligated. If you want to say something, come on up.
Hi, guys. Some of you know me, most of you don't. My name is Tia. And I knew Joy a long time. Joy was my supervisor first, and then we quickly became friends and bonded over several glasses of wine, and it has bloomed into the friendship we have today. I actually didn't really meet Ian till they officially started dating, and the only reason I know who Ian was because he used to hold the door for me pretty much every morning when I was going into the building during class. And I don't know if you remember that, but you did every morning. And I was like, who is this guy? So one night I was at John and Reed's, and our friend Sam showed up and said, did Joy talk to you yet? And I was like, talk to me about what? And I was really nervous. And she showed up with Ian and was like, I have to talk to you. And she took me outside with Ian, and she told me that her and Ian were dating. Now, prior to this, Joy had been in a relationship with a guy who was totally terrible, and they had gone on a vacation, and I was like, you're going to come back single, trust me, because he's not the guy for you. And Tia is always right, and Joy came back single, and I'm so glad she did. When they first started dating, I told Ian, you break her heart, I'll kill you, and I meant it. So, of course, he had to marry her. So I'd like to take a little credit for this day as well. But Joy and Ian, you are a beautiful couple, and you are so in love, and I'm so happy to have taken this journey with you guys, and I'm so proud and so happy for you. So thank you.
We got another. It's me.
All right. So everyone's looking at me. They're like, who's this kid, right? Brown kid at the party. Just introduce myself. I'm one of Ross's best friends. And honestly, I always saw Joy as a sister. And one of the first days she brought Ian, I looked at this kid and I'm like, wait, is that him? Ooh, like that kid. But honestly, got to know him briefly, and like one of the most kind-hearted, genuine kids I ever met. So you kind of made my family a little bigger, Ian. And I really like, Joy's an amazing person. Joy's an amazing sister, amazing family. And I just want to wish you the best love, happiness, success in your future. And I'm glad that you joined my wolf pack. So good luck.
All right, that looks like. Is that the last of them? All right, I don't know anybody here, really. DJ, turn the music down. I know a few select people. I work with Ian. Ian shoots weddings for my company, Empire Sound, which is over here. And I've never met Joy before tonight, but at every shoot, I've always heard the name Joy. Joy, 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 Joy. Which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you talk about her a lot, and I see why. And I've done over 100 weddings. I'm not trying to brag, but I've done over 100 weddings, and I've never seen like the passion in a vow speech that I've seen tonight. Usually people don't read their own vows, but you guys knocked it out of the park. I told Ian inside that's the best I've ever heard. I thought it was plagiarized. That's how good I thought it was. Joy, you did great as well, but Ian overshadowed you. I'm sorry. But honestly, I've never seen so many people come up for speeches. This is the maximum amount of speeches I've ever seen, and it just goes to show how much you guys are loved. And honestly, I love having you. Now you're in the Empire Sound family. Congratulations. Let's give it up for. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let's give it up for Ian and Joy.
On the floor, never danced like this before. We don't
you. Suspense controlling my mind. I cannot find the way out of here. I want you by my side, so that I'll never feel alone again. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We've never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We've never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it, shouldn't talk about it.
Oh! Go, whoa! Yeah. I can do it. Marcus told me to keep it on me. I'm gonna keep it on me. True.
Relax. Don't be like so stressed.
I'm not really sure what to say.
Yeah, I have no idea if it's recording or
I
not.
feel like this is gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Is there like a light on it?
It's just
Oh, it's rolling.
I was trying to figure out if it's recording.
Now it's recording.
Oh, it's recording?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I hope you're enjoying your wedding. It's great.
Hi.
I hope you're really enjoying your wedding. I hope you're having a great time.
Nothing happens if you untie it. It's just
It's very nice. It's very nice. All right, see you later.
Hey! What a beautiful wedding.
He's going crazy.
Please, please do it. Let's do it, guys.
Bro, this is you. Stop the lie.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.